Hello, Leo Rising, and Leo Moon. Welcome to your August 2016 reading. I hope that your month has gotten off to a stellar beginning. Let's take a look and see what information is coming through for you. The first part of my reading is always channeled information, so I meditate before I pull the cards and basically focus on the sign. And for you, I had this idea of sort of like, it's almost like you're doing the trim on a house, so finishing touches, basically. And for many of you, this could come through if you're if you're nearly complete with a task. Maybe it's planning for a wedding, maybe it's, it could be actually home improvements, anything in your life that feels like I just want to get it done. This bit of channeled information is saying pay closer attention to the details and make sure that everything is 100% to your liking. Because it's sort of a overused expression, but you really get one opportunity to sort of go out and make a splash and make a first impression. So you just want to make sure it really is representing you at your best, or whatever it is that you want to put out into the world. It could also be a creative project or some sort of an announcement. So whatever it is, just take an extra couple of minutes and pay attention to the details, to all those little things that make something great, spectacular. Okay? So let's shuffle the cards now and take a look at the forecast, and I'll also pull a catalyst card to see how everything is going to connect this month. Okay. And as promised, catalyst card here. Okay, that was not a good shuffle, so let me reshuffle. Much better. All right. So we have totality as your catalyst. And what I like about this, if you look really, really close, there is a need to sort of make a leap of faith. So one thing that I will say is once you finish these finishing touches, there may be a reluctance for you to let go of something or to kind of take the next step. This one is saying, like, reach further than you think you could and just go for it. There is a point where what's done is done, and it's time to share it with the world. So whether, again, that's some sort of an announcement, whether it is just a need to make a decision, you're going to have to, this is a common thread, I've seen it on a couple signs this month, so you're going to need to just go for it, okay? Let's see what we can do with the information coming through to make you feel more confident and prepared for whatever the decision or the change in your life is, and hopefully that will help you out. All right, your central card is the Hierophant in reverse. A little bit of pushback possibly coming from decision makers in your life. This could be a boss, a parent. It could also be a loved one that sort of has this controlling influence over you. And for some of you, there could be, from the same sort of source, a lack of positive reinforcement. What I want to sort of allow you to do here is to step away from that, because it really isn't helping you out. You have a lot of opportunity for positive friendships and new relationships to form. So this is particularly with intimate relationships. If you have like a mother, father, and you're just feeling very disconnected, or they're not satisfying sort of your basic emotional needs, that's okay. Parents have limits, and there's a point where it's normal for you to pull away, and I see that happening here. It's better for you to seek friendships with peers, with new people that could be coming into your life, with coworkers. I see a need to sort of move away from family and traditional structures, make new structures for yourself. For many of you, this is a month of, and also it looks like the remainder of this year, financial rebuilding. And the 7 usually comes through, 7 of Pentacles, when you've acknowledged something in your life that needs work, particularly with like debt or investments, or something that's no longer basically giving you what you expected or needed out of it. Some of you felt that intuitive sort of flow of information, but may not have acted quickly enough. So we see the 5 of Pentacles showing a recent loss or setback. But what I do see in the future for you is the ability to not only rebound, but be in a much healthier space than you ever were in the past. So a note of encouragement coming through for many of you. In your environment, I see the Eight of Pentacles card. So this comes through when you're seeking something new that will enrich your skills and knowledge. So it can often mean going back to school, getting a certification. Sometimes it means a mentorship, or sort of like not just an internship, but it's a apprenticeship is what I was trying to come up with here. So for some of you, you're going to be learning from a master, learning from someone who's much more experienced, and it looks really positive. So if you've been wanting to make a change in your life and take on some sort of a new skill or completely different career path, I really see the energy supporting that this month. And you don't have to do it overnight. Remember, all changes start with like a decision first and foremost, and then just a series of small steps. So you decide to take a class, you decide to, study with someone, you decide to learn more about something. Whatever it is that opens the door or turns the key, let that be this month. Let it be the first step into a new change for you. For those of you that are happy with your path or with your work, what this says is you should never become complacent in the skills that you have. And so it's always good to sometimes watch other people, read what others have to say that are experts in the field, and just to challenge yourself in some way, even in a job that you feel absolutely qualified for and happy with. There's always room for a little bit of personal growth. And so if you want to do personal growth in a small way this month, it's also going to be very beneficial. Part of what could come out of a training situation or taking a class is meeting somebody. When I look in your hope and fears area, we see love. And not only love, but a really deep love that's coming through. Because the outcome card is the Star. It is reversed, but that's still very positive. What it's saying, though, is as you meet new people in your life, whether it's a really new, possibly a new best friend, or someone that you're dating and that you really want to take it to the next level, try to be truthful. The nudity in this card is often symbolic of closeness to your divine self or to truth. There's no need to mask it when you are at your highest self. So all the cards here on the top are really positive. Your crowning card, your outcome card, and the hopes and fears are showing me that you really want to take yourself to a place where you can be authentic, you can be loved and seen for who you are, and you want that to be not just something that's on an ephemeral or sort of like a quick fix level. You really want a long-term partnership. So I see that potential for you, and I see that blossoming for many of you that are already in something that's very strong. Lots of beautiful energy coming through for either strengthening or creating a new long-term relationship. What you need to work on in advance of that is trying to release some of your preconceived notions of what a partner may look like. Also, your own sort of preconceived notions of how people view you. Because a lot of times, not a lot of times, I would say all the time, our belief in and our view or vision of ourselves becomes our projection and becomes others' reality. So if we can start to shift how we perceive ourselves, plural, then everyone around us starts to see us in a different light. They may come up to you and say, wow, is that new clothing? Did you buy something new? Are you on a diet? Did you change your hair? They won't be able to put their finger on it, but what had happened was you changed on the inside. You didn't change your clothing. You didn't change your hair. It's not about how much you've gained or lost. It's actually internal. And so that's what I really would like you guys to focus on, is flipping the switch. So we can have Queen of Wands upright, which is a very positive card, came through for another sign in almost the same position. And it really means being able to think yourself out of any situation, being able to deal with almost any adversity that comes your way, and being confident and comfortable enough that whether you're paired with your life partner or you're on your own, you have a sense of confidence, of knowledge, and self that attracts positive situations to you. This woman or this character is almost invariably in a desert, and there's usually growth of a flower or something nearby. So it shows that out of nothing, something can come. Also confidence, strength, and exuding the very best of what can be. Putting that out there. And we see an interesting thing going on in politics lately where we have both sides. We have fear and sometimes like I want to say fear, ignorance, and sort of being scared. And then we have someone that's showing hope or opportunity. We have people in the middle. You have to decide yourself where you want to go. Right now I see there's a little bit of an attraction to fear or stubbornness. If you turn it around and pull more optimism in, you're going to attract more optimistic people and opportunities. Because if you just think about how it feels to be around certain friends or family members, sometimes they complain all the time, some of them, and you tend to not want to pick up the phone or answer a text. And then there are other people that just, even if things are kind of not what they'd expect, they have a good demeanor, they have a good attitude towards it. And even if they need help, you're more likely to pick up the phone or you're more likely to reach out. So be that sort of person so that whether you're in a high, low, or a medium sort of situation, people are always interested in what you have to say. That's really what you want to focus on this month, and that's going to help you bring in the love. But as far as helping you find who this sign may be, we had one really clear court card, which was the Queen of Wands reversed. So a strong fiery energy, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius quite possibly could be coming in. It does seem attached to work based on the placement of the cards. And so I would love for you to just keep your eyes open. If there's any work events or any friends of friends that want to sort of set you up, you should be open to that. I think it's a great month to date. And if you're married or if you're engaged, spend some time together. Do a getaway, do a date night, even though you are partners. It's going to help connect you closer. Look at how both the star and the lovers here is connecting. And it's about balance. So making time for that other person, listening to the other person, really good month for you to develop your relationships. Let's expand your forecast, and we can revisit all of this in a moment as we expand it. And we'll look first at health and well-being. And for health and well-being, we have solar plexus chakra, which is all about relationship strength. And I just mentioned this to another sign. It's really around your belly button area, and this is where we tend to hold a lot of tension. So for those of you that get worked up sometimes and feel like a knot in your stomach, a good thing to do, and I may do a video on this one day, but it's the breath of fire in Kundalini Yoga. Rapid inhale and exhale and pumping of the navel. So it's, and you basically would be pulling the energy in and out. And the other thing you can do is take 3 very mindful breaths. And when you exhale, you go, when you exhale, I really want you to cannon fire out any of the tension or anger or frustration and go, do that 3 times, 5 times, 10 times until you start to feel things breaking up in your solar plexus. A lot of times I say, oh, you need to work on that, but I'm giving you some techniques to really work on that area. You can also take your fingers and try to open up that stomach area a little bit. Just work the area if you're feeling some tension there, along with the breathing, and that's going to help you quite a bit. All right, let's take a look at wealth and opportunity and see what's coming to you this month. And that card just wanted to fly out. So we have action and Thor, wonderful illustration here. So this is really about not waiting for anybody else. We saw this totality card. What I'm seeing for many of you is that, and when we connect that to the finishing touches, you are ready to sort of take like a big step in your life. Thor is a lot like Archangel Michael in that you need to have the strength and the sort of security to know that it's okay. Once you've done all that you can do, once you put on those finishing touches, it's almost your responsibility to share it with the world and to be strong. This is like a hyper masculine card. So what it's saying is be active, be excited about it, and just say, again, if you're trying to sell some sort of a product or service, you can say, I'm really excited to bring this to you, and then talk about it. But exude your positivity, and that's really what people are going to be attracted to. But it looks like many of you have done all of the hard work here, and I see that with both the 9 of Pentacles and this action card here. So don't be afraid to take it to the next level. So we looked at health, wealth. Now let's take a look at love and relationships. And I do see prosperity coming through. And when we combine this with all of these beautiful cards showing the lovers, the star, the 4 of wands, what I really see is that if you've been going through a situation where you needed to let go, and for some of you that could be estrangement from a parent, divorce, a breakup. You have so much more beautiful, bright stuff in the future, even in the present that's surrounding you that you don't even see. So seize these opportunities and try not to focus so much on what's gone. I mean, the Five of Cups is an opportunity card, and you can either focus on the spilled wine, the spilled milk, whatever you want to call it, or you can focus on what's around the corner, those two cups here. And what I'm seeing is that there's beautiful stuff on the way, and you have to believe it, and you have to welcome it in. So think of this Horn of Plenty. Think of the, really for you, it's probably October, November when this is going to come into full bloom, but I see it starting right now. But the next 4 months are really positive for you. So don't let any sort of past mishaps pull you astray. Let's look at your destiny, your trajectory into the future, and see really where you're headed. Okay, so this one comes up a lot. We have the music card, and music's an interesting card to sort of apply to destiny because there are like 3 things that come to mind. The first one is to keep your ears and your eyes open and to read the signs. So what I'm getting for this is that for some of you, I want you to pay attention to feedback that you're getting or that other people are sort of saying, like the word on the street. So if you're a musician, pay attention to you don't want to sort of repeat what's happened, but like what's the next big thing? If you're trying to sort of create harmony at work or at home, what you want to do is pay attention to everybody's needs and sort of see them as, I'm not a music person. I mean, I love music, but I don't compose. But it's sort of like they're a layer in the sound current that you're creating. So everybody has a place, and if you can help them get into harmony, that's great. So let's put this in practical terms rather than such abstract terms. So if it's in an office space, for instance, and you have to work in a team, and there's like somebody that's really cantankerous, and there's another person that is so focused on themselves that you need to find a place for them to succeed. So the person that's critical, they could be looking at quality assurance because they're very critical, and the critical eye could help. For the person that's really focused on how they're going to look, what's going to happen, well, maybe they can be a liaison and could ask for everything that's going to be expected for success, and then they can come back and report that. So you can find ways for people's sometimes traits that you may think are annoying or not part of the group that can actually fit in nicely. If it's your own dynamic and it's just 2 people, look how the 2 of you can complement, not compete, and also not complete. I say this time and again, but the whole notion of finding someone to complete you is malarkey. What I really think that you need to find is a way to have someone champion you to be better, and also you can do the same for them. And so instead you're complementing. It's like binary stars rather than a puzzle piece, because then when that person's gone, you always think something's missing. It's better to have 2 wholes, and together you can go much further than 2 halves making 1 whole. So try to become as whole a person as you can, and bring that out in your partner so that they feel like if they need to grow in a certain area, if they're not feeling confident, do what you can to encourage them to work on that, and you work on yourself, and then don't criticize. And partnership is about that. It's about trying to help each other be the best. And if you're not feeling that, if there's competition, or if the partner is, if you feel like there's a codependence, which is really what this is, then it's time to think about if you can work past that, or if this is something where you might be better suited finding a different partner, or again, spending more time working on yourself so that at least one of you is strong and the other person either has an opportunity to also become strong or to fall away. Because usually if you raise your frequency, raise your sort of view of the world into a positive space, people have a chance to meet you or to disappear. And that's really the best way. So when we look at some of the negative stuff that's going on in the news with politics and things like that, rising up is always better. Getting a little bit more well-informed, a little bit more sort of like happier in your own life, and not getting and feeding into the negativity, going higher, going kinder, going a little bit more positive will help you deal with people that are much more negative. Rather than attack, the magic in politics is if people would just say, that's your point of view, I'm not talking about fear, I'm not talking about hate, I'm coming at this from a more holistic and a less simplistic point of view, the other person would just sort of like fizzle out and no one would want to listen because the other person starts to make a lot more sense. Fear is one thing, but I want you to move away from that. With music, it's about harmony, and everybody shines and everybody has a beautiful role in the symphony. You're going to need the strings, you're going to need percussion. I'm going to stop it while I'm ahead, but you're going to need all sounds and all different people to make something beautiful, okay? It's not your job to judge if somebody isn't good enough for the big orchestra, because we're not the one conducting. We're only taking care of our particular piece. So that's everything. Let me review really quickly. It's a fantastic month for relationships, for meeting new people, for developing old ones, for healing wounds and stepping away when you need to. I see financial security in the future for you. You need to accept and progress with any sort of existing debt or challenges you have. If you face those fears head on, I see you coming out ahead of the game in the long run. This can take a few months because, let's face it, 7, 8, and 9 are really showing 3 or 4 months here of growth, but it's very positive. This is a month for you to expand your knowledge and your skills. So whether you're comfortable and think that you know most of what you need to know, there's still an opportunity to listen to others or perhaps just do a little bit of research. For those of you that want to start a whole new job sort of trajectory, go for it. You are going to need to, at a certain point, just take a leap of faith, let go of whatever you've been holding on to. I mean, once you've done your finishing touches, and I really do feel like that needs to happen by the beginning of the month, by the 5th, then you're in good shape. Health, I showed you some techniques. You want to work on the stomach area, the solar plexus, letting go of negative relationships and negative feelings that you hold in that space. For wealth, it's about your own activeness that's going to do it, your own action. You're going to have to be the one that makes opportunities happen. And you also want to share things with a sense of joy, accomplishment, and excitement, because think of a salesman that's depressed. No one's going to buy their wares, but a person that really believes in what they have, then I'm going to listen. When we looked at health, wealth. For love, as I said, there's room for growth across the board. You should, if you're feeling alone, this is a month to reach out to a friend, because any sort of social interactions that you're doing should yield a positive result. And at the very least, just know that there are people around you that love you and that want to help. You might need to ask, but they're there. Finally, and we talked a long time about it, so I'm not going to go into too much depth, but this is a month to harmonize in relationships. Find where everybody can have an opportunity to show their strengths and shine, okay? I hope this was helpful. It, as always, is my pleasure to be able to bring this information to you, and I really do hope it gives you the insight that you need to make the most out of August. Thank you so much for all of the likes, the subscribes, and all of the support that many of you have given me. It really helps, and it keeps me coming back month to month. If you'd like to be in touch and know whenever I post new videos, the easiest way is to just click subscribe. But I have a newsletter, and I always post that around the 1st of each month and let you know when all the new videos are up, so that's great too. And feel free to join me on Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter. I'm on all of those. Finally, and completely optionally, if you do feel like this was something that helped you and you want to give back a little bit, I'll put a donate button here. Otherwise, I wish you all of the best, and really do hope that for all of you that you find prosperity, love, and happiness. Take care. Bye-bye.